Hello there. Welcome and thank you for joining us today as we will talk about how to build a full 5G NTN testbed in just 1 week. No custom hardware, no months of setup. I'm Arpad, part of the team at Lasting Software, where we develop test solutions that make 5G and 6G non-terrestrial networks easier to prototype, validate, and scale. Today, we'll show how CELEOS and our new solution FlexSpace 5G NTN come together to deliver a complete software-defined NTN testbed, fully digital, ready to deploy, and shockingly fast to set up. So, without any further ado, let's jump right in. Let's start with a bold question. What if you could build a full 5G NTN testbed in just 1 week? No proprietary boxes, no months of setup, just the essential components, up and running in days. So you can move from theory to testing faster than ever before. You might ask, wait, what? A full NTN testbed deployed in 7 days, no specialized hardware, no lengthy integration circles? Yes, these are the deploys you are looking for, except they are no tricks. They are fast paths to full NTN validation already in use by teams who refuse to wait for someday. In the next few minutes, we'll walk through that exact thing, meaning what it takes, what's already available, and how you can go from a blank setup to a working NTN testbed in just 1 week. Why is NTN testing harder than it should be, you might ask? Most teams trying to validate NTN use cases are stuck setting up a realistic testbed, and it takes months. You're buying hardware, adapting interfaces, simulating space-like conditions, and hoping everything works together. That's not scalable, and it's definitely not fast. To really test NTN, you need more than signal generators. A real NTN testbed isn't just about sending bits through the air. It's about recreating the full system. You need UEs and G-Node B integration, a flexible core, realistic satellite channel emulation, orchestration tools, and the ability to ingest actual orbital data. Without those, it's just a demo, not a test. You need emulated delays, Doppler, LEO, MEO, GEO behavior, weather impairments, and integration with the rest of the stack, core, G-Node B, UE. That's where the whole solution and CELEOS comes in. CELEOS is not a repurposed RF tool. It's built for NTN, fully software-defined, running in real time, and capable of emulating everything from standard propagation impairments to multi-orbit and inter-satellite link scenarios. This is the heart of your testbed. From delay and Doppler to full orbit-aware emulation via TLE, CELEOS provides a complete digital twin for space-based signal behavior. It scales effortlessly, supports ISL and relay links, and it's built specifically for 5G and 6G NTN validation. Now that you have seen what CELEOS brings as the core engine of any realistic NTN testbed, the next question is, how fast can you put it all together and start testing? That's where FlexSpace 5G NTN comes in. It brings the full power of CELEOS into a hosted environment, no racks, no setup, just instant access to a complete NTN testbed. You get CELEOS, G-Node B's cores, and telemetry, all accessible remotely if necessary. Ideal for teams without the space or time for a physical lab. It's modular, flexible, and interoperable. Whether you're testing TN, NTN, TN handovers, IoT scenarios, or advanced mobility, this platform delivers real-world realism anywhere. With graphical user interface or API access, SMO readiness, and full control over all parameters, FlexSpace 5G NTN makes advanced NTN testing faster, simpler, and smarter. So, as you see, this is not theory. This is a timeline we've followed up with real users. From idea to a functioning testbed in 7 days, FlexSpace 5G NTN removes the friction from deployment so you can focus on testing your system under realistic NTN conditions. Hence, you kick it off with day 1, defining the mission. Start with a sharp objective, identify the NTN scenario you want to emulate, whether it is LEO mobility, delay-tolerant apps, or multi-orbit handover. Clarity here shapes everything that follows. That is followed by day 2 and 3 with assembly of the toolbox. Select your components, G-Node-B, UE, 5G core, and the channel emulator. Whether open source, commercial, or hybrid, this is where you design your stack and ensure seamless integration across tools. You are barely done with day 3 and everything is already in place. So what follows is day 4, meaning powering up the platform. Deploy CELEOS and FlexSpace 5G NTN with everything software-defined and hosted. You can bring your testbed online fast. No physical lab, no RF chaos, just clean orchestration. And we are already at day 5, and we start simulating the sky. Feed your TLEs, configure Doppler, delay, fading, or weather conditions. CELEOS makes it easy to model realistic satellite behavior across all type of orbits, LEO, MEO, or GEO environments. And all that remains at the end are the last steps. And the last 2 days, day 6 and day 7, fire up the engines. Launch your tests, collect results, and iterate fast, whether validating UE behavior, G-Node-B response, or protocol resilience. Your NTN testbed is now running like it's in orbit. And just to clarify, this isn't just a demo environment or a future roadmap. The solution is already in active users across critical high-impact projects. At the ESA 5G 6G hub, for example, FlexSpace 5G NTN and CELEOS play a central role in satellite terrestrial integration testing and live demonstrations of real-time NTN scenarios. It's also been adopted in government-driven initiatives supporting use cases like public safety, mobility, and secure communications in hybrid TN and NTN networks. In academic research, universities and labs are already using CELEOS to model realistic satellite conditions and validate algorithms for orbital dynamics, beam management, and NTN mobility. It's being successfully validated with OAI, with TM500 setups, and with other third-party stacks, providing its compatibility in diverse real-world testbeds. And in the private sector, the solution is powering early R&D programs in NTN system design, test automation, and protocol validation. This is happening today. All across Europe and beyond, these tools are already accelerating the future of NTN testing. But what's next, you might ask? Well, next is testbed in a minute. We're entering in a new era of testbed design where speed is the keyword. So far, we've shown how CELEOS and FlexSpace 5G NTN enable you to build a fully scaled NTN testbed in just a week. But what happens when you eliminate the last remaining barrier, physical infrastructure? Well, that's where the next step or next leap begins. We're talking about a fully digital, DeFi-compliant testbed where every element, the emulator, the G-Node-B, UEs, and even the 5G core runs on a single host machine. There is no RF chain, no cables, no manual calibration, and no interface mismatches to worry about. Everything is natively digital, internally clocked, and orchestrated throughout DeFi standard interfaces. With this setup, you can launch an end-to-end NTN scenario without a single command, instantly reproducing conditions like delay, Doppler, multi-orbit dynamics, or mobility handovers without touching a single wire. This is what we mean by testbed in a minute. Not just a faster setup, a fundamental shift in how testing gets done. But the shift towards fully digitization is not just about speed. It's about simplicity, consistency, and true interoperability. What used to take days of hardware configuration, cabling, and cross-tool integration is now abstracted into a clean, orchestrated environment. Thanks to embedded digital interfaces, waveform data timing and synchronization flow across components with no manual alignment. Whether you're running a GNLB stack, a UE simulation, or protocol analyzer, everything connects seamlessly. The result? A testbed that feels more like software development than system engineering. And because it's fully modular, this setup is already aligned with future 6G NTN architectures, where flexibility, orchestration, and scalability will define what's possible. So what does this all translate to in practical terms? It translates to 4 key aspects: time saved, reduced costs, enhanced coverage, and enhanced compatibility. You can go from months of setup and integration to a functioning testbed in days or even minutes if it needs, freeing up engineering cycles for actual experimentation. You can test more use cases, push edge scenarios, and move faster. No need to reconfigure hardware every time or every day. Validate full NTN architectures under realistic conditions in an environment designed for seamless interoperability. That's how NTN testing becomes scalable. Not just functional, but repeatable, integrated, and forward compatible. So after everything we've seen, all that remains is a simple question. Are you ready to start? If the answer is yes, if you are ready to build your own NTN testbed, validate real use cases, and get ahead of the innovation curve, then you can start today. CELEOS is already available and fully operational, including complete support for Diffie. You can already deploy it locally or as part of a broader hosted setup and begin running meaningful NTN tests right now. FlexSpace 5G NTN, our fully hosted 5G NTN testbed environment, is currently in trial phase, with a commercial launch scheduled for Q4 this year. We've already showcased it live, first in its early form at the Mobile World Congress 2025, and more recently in its Diffie-enabled version at the OAI Summer Workshop in Kista, Sweden. Whether you want to test in the cloud, validate on your own hardware, or scale up to fully digital orchestration, now is the right time to step in. So here we are. The tools are in place. The possibilities are wide open. With CELEOS, you can build realistic software-defined NTN testbeds today. With FlexSpace 5G NTN, you can already begin exploring what comes next on your own terms, on your own time. This isn't just an evolution, it's a shift on everything that we know so far about testing, in how we build, and how fast we bring ideas to orbit. So don't wait to catch up. Join the wave that's reshaping how we test 5G NTN. We are not just offering tools, we are offering acceleration. So let's build what's next together. The complexity of 5G NTN doesn't have to slow you down. With a fully digital software-defined CELEOS and FlexSpace 5G NTN give you control, precision, and the freedom to innovate at your own pace starting today. That being said, stay tuned for more sessions and product updates from Lasting Software. And if you have any questions or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for your time and attention. Until next time, bye.